All right, everybody. Joe Skibby with Beats, Beds, and Browns. Thanks for joining us. If you're not familiar, Beats, Beds, and Browns is your spot for emerging hip-hop artists, garden interests from homestead to commercial ag, and bourbon and whiskey distillers. We're pleased to be transitioning to live stream interviews in our third season, allowing us to interview talented folks from across the globe. Our focus will always remain in Chicagoland and throughout the region. There's so many talented individuals out there that we can cut it up with. We figured why not expand, and live streaming gives us the opportunity to do that without a on-stage insight studio interview, and frees up our artists to not be so time-bound if their performing schedules don't allow. We always want to remember our mission to distribute 100,000 heirloom seed kits over the next 10 years. We want you to experience the joy of growing that we do throughout our extensive gardens. And we want to let people know how easy it is to get started. Of course, gardening is always going to present challenges, but whether you've got acres or just a balcony, you can start growing your own food. Please visit beatsbedsbrowns.com. We'll go ahead and make sure that you get a free seed kit so you can get started. Always tap into our social media channels. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at beatsbedsbrowns. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube so you can get notified of any of our upcoming content releases. And please participate in the comments section. Let us know you're out there. Ask questions, steer the discussion. We're more than happy to hear from you. And most importantly, happy planting. And thanks to those of you joining us after the live taping. Without further ado, we're going to jump into our intro and bring in Ganawae. All right. Let's give it up for Ganawae.
Yo.
Couldn't be happier to have you here tonight with us. Thanks for your time, man.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it, man.
So we jump into all of our interviews with the same question. Where are you at, where you been, and where you going?
I'm in Chicago. I'm in Oklahoma City. I've been in Chicago, but been back and forth from OKC to Chicago, and I'm going to Chicago.
Very nice, very nice. When are you coming out? Why are you coming out here? How'd you get tapped into the local environment?
Okay, so the Chicago story, it was not planned at all. This was around January. I just hopped in the car with two of my friends I rap with. I got this collective called O2 Worldwide. And most of our monthly listeners are based in Chicago, so figure we just go where the motion is at and then see where it takes me. But I've never been to Chicago ever before that.
Before January of this year?
Yeah, before January this year. Yeah, so just doing that was a big risk, and I was like, I gotta figure out how to make something shake. Chicago is a great city. It's one of the biggest and best risks I ever took in my life.
Yeah, the best coast, Central. Yeah. We hear all of that coming from Chicago. We hear we're a little nicer than the East Coast, just environment on the West Coast, but we love it. And again, it's a hotbed right now. There's a bunch going on. We happen to have started this endeavor when a lot of activities coming up post-COVID. And, speaking of that, we crossed your path at two shows put on by Season 1 All-Star AM Early Morning, the Crimeapple show. And I don't think he produced that Rome Streetz show that you were at, but he brought Rome Streetz out here 6 months or so prior to when you opened. So how'd you come from Oklahoma to Chicago and land those opening slots, man?
Oh, well, so it was this guy on Twitter. I followed Griselda for a long time. And I followed one of the managers. His name is Coach Bombay. He manages Rome Streetz.
Okay.
So got in contact with him. It happened so quick. He got me in so quick. He did his research. I did mine. We discussed a couple of things. And then I was in Oklahoma 3 months before the show, just preparing for it. And finally, before I landed the show, actually. But when I got to Chicago in the beginning of the year, I was just preparing for that show. It was my first big show ever. Just doing things, man.
Absolutely. And the Rome Streetz show was before Crimeapple. I wasn't able to make that show, but tell me about the Rome Streetz environment and how that show went down.
Definitely, man. The Rome Streetz environment was very grimy, and I like that. A lot of hip hop heads, man. Man, it was a great experience, man. The crowd rocked with me. I love the crowd. The people. I like the even the opening acts for the show. After me and before me, I met like Finesse Dutch, Vic Spencer for the first time. I met
19th ranked hip hop artist in Rolling Stone
yeah.
magazine recently, Vic Spencer. Let's give it up for
Yeah,
Vic.
man. Shout out Vic Spencer, man. Yeah, that was he was one of the first people I met down here. That was actually like, he was one of the real ones, And it was good to see that. Like, I had hope because I didn't know. I had interactions where I was like, man, I hope not everybody's like this in this industry, That's what I
Yeah,
went
you got
pretty
to go
good
where
at.
the nice people are, man. And no matter what industry, no matter what it is, no matter what the
Man,
reputation is, nice, accountable people to follow through on their word. And,
yeah.
we just saw Vic at the Hip Hop Heritage Museum in Chicago, and he was interviewed by that crew. And they're putting out great monthly events. I think they got Rahman Static coming up, a graffiti artist here in late September.
Yeah.
So they're fostering that culture and getting the word out, and they got a growing community around that as well.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
It's first major performance.
Okay, yeah. So first solo major performance. I was just getting myself out there. Like I know I had 5 songs, but I was like, you know what? Let me just do this to see what it feels like. Let me get a little taste of what it is. Before that, I had a lot of major shows. I did South by Southwest with my group. I did a whole bunch of shows with my group. But like I'm starting off, working on my solo career just to get that a little started,
And that all evolved from O2 Worldwide, is it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, all of it. I mean, they I've been rapping before I joined the group, but like they actually like, they pushed me to the wolves, just to get my feet wet, And I really needed that because if it wasn't for them, I would not be like where I am right now,
Nothing beats a trial by fire, man. You never learn
Right.
so much.
Yeah, man, trial and error is the best teacher, man.
Absolutely. So
Definitely.
had you always been a writer or performer, or how did you get into the game?
Okay, so I've been writing since I was about 16. My dad and my aunt were MCs in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So I would pretty much just look up to them, every weekend I would stay home and I would always ask where they'll go, and they always have like these type of shows, and like they'll come home with a camcorder and show the footage. I'm like, yeah, that's really dope. So I came up listening to my dad and my aunt.
Forget sitting behind a desk, man. I want some of that.
Yeah. So it was like I was heavily influenced. I was going to the studio with my aunt a lot, just watching, just observing, taking notes, and then eventually just started rapping. It was on paper at first, and then it started out as rumors. I told everybody in my school I was gonna drop a tape. I never did. Yeah,
but it set the expectation, right? They knew what was coming.
Yeah. So I told everybody I never did drop a tape. So after high school, it was my freshman year of college. I started to take it serious. So that was around 2020. I dropped my first song, and yeah, from there is history.
And what was the first song?
My first song is Supplier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that inspired by? Or
Supplier was inspired by Aquemini, Outkast.
Nice.
It was like, yeah, I wanted to, I really love bass lines and the drums. I want to, display that feeling and, mix it up a little bit. And then, my sound gravitated more to different things as I continue to make more music over time.
That's one of the joys that we like, catching guys early, right? Is they're formulating their sound. They're figuring things out. They're seeing what works for them.
Mm-hmm. Still figuring it out.
Yeah, right? So can you talk about how that early exposure in the studio to your family members, how that shaped your writing? And do you write with production in mind? Do you write to get the thoughts out of your head? How does that work?
So my aunt would she's a poet, she's a writer, she's a screenplay writer. She would always call me to the room and show me her scripts and then her poems, and I would always listen to her demos and stuff, and she always had high expectation with her lyricism and writing. So she would tell me listen to Jay-Z, listen to Beanie Siegel, listen to the OGs. I'm like, yeah. At first, it was kind of boring. I really wasn't interested in that type of music. or that coast, East Coast sound.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But over time, I matured. I'm like, man, I really needed this. Like those are great artists. And like, I see why she wanted to, I see why she wanted me. I see why she wanted to expose me to that, because I guess she didn't want me to be whack or rapping or anything. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to know where you've been to know where you're going, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I love it. And to take that exposure and understand the layering and the depth of the lyrics and what you can actually say from a good song. Have you ever messed with like the spoken word, or did your aunt mess with the spoken word? Or?
Not really. I got into spoken word around like 2020. I'm very late on Arm & Hammer, like Billy Woods and Elucid. So like that with more.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of a signal delay. We'll jump in, as always, beatsbedsbrowns.com. Make sure you get your free seed kit. You can choose from acorn squash, dill, or carrot. Again, we want you, our viewers, to get the seeds in your hand, work with the dirt, and be able to grow. Learn how easy it is to grow your own food. Always smash that subscribe button. You back?
Yep, back.
Nice. So being that you had roots in the studio and you were always writing, do you prefer live performing, or do you like the studio to sharpen it up before you go out on stage? Or?
Man, this is the truth, man. I do not like going to the studio, but I like the after effects of it. I don't know. I have such a hard time recording music, but like as soon as it's done, it's just like the best thing. It's like the best feeling. But I love live performing, man. Like,
yeah,
I can do that all
back
the
and
time.
forth with the crowd and feeling the energy, tapping into their vibe. It's hard, right? Because studio comes out as such a polished product, and that's probably exactly how you hear it in your head. And even sometimes live, you're hearing a guy for the first time, you can't necessarily make out the word. Live hip hop's a tough environment to master. The quality of the sound crew, the stage, the dynamics of the event venue. It's but every once in a while it hits, and it's just magical. You feel the music, you feel it spitting off stage, and it's
right. Yeah, you have like so many, pre-recorded versions of the song you're about to put out versus you're about to give this crowd one version of that song that night. So also like I like the way I can express myself during a live performance. Like I can put a lot of more emphasis on my words and just like express myself very freely.
Yeah, and one of the other things, we're just impressed, with your stamina and endurance, right? We've seen guys get up there huffing and puffing, missing every other verse, not catching it. Man, you were just calm, and maybe you were masking a little nerves when you were up there.
I was masking, man. Like I was so nervous, man. Like because it was just so new to me. It was just like, man, this is just so much going on. I just got to take it in smooth. And like before, like the Rome Streetz show and like the Crimeapple show, I would like look up my favorite artist performances. Like, how did they like proceed in the process of just performing? How did they, open up to the crowd control, that type of stuff. So just taking notes as I go. Yeah.
All right. So with O2 Worldwide Collective, we hear that and we think a group of people all working to create and produce and turn out music. Tell me a little bit about the O2 Worldwide crew and how you guys were developing sound.
Okay. Also, we make about, I don't know. Okay, so it's 11 of us. It's a rap and R&B collective. We make pop music as well. We all how it all started, I had one of my good friends, the dark skinned rapper. He had started the collective, and he was getting people from our high school and different high schools, and like he formed everybody together. It was pretty much a local thing in Oklahoma, and he got pretty much I want to say the best artist he could find, and put us all together. Like he's a visionary. I don't know how he did it, man, but he did it. Him and Mbachi. But it was like a certain type of crowd in Oklahoma City that were like caught on to like what was going on in the music space. even with like alternative music, you know, Oklahoma City is not really tapped in with that type of music. We're like more of a trap music crowd, you know, more Texas side, Oklahoma City, Texas.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's like when you hear,
And is that
you
where
know,
you're from? Is Oklahoma City?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And did you go? Is that
yeah.
where you went to school too?
Yes, I went to. There's a place right. It's inside Oklahoma City. It's called Edmond, Oklahoma. Yeah, so I went to Edmond, Oklahoma. I went to school in Edmond Public Schools. It's like a suburbs inside Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I've passed through Oklahoma a couple different places, Tulsa
Yeah.
primarily, and yeah.
Tulsa. Yeah. I stayed in Tulsa before. But yeah.
So, you know, every artist has their own preference in how they work. You know, studio live with the producer there. They send off their work. Can you talk to me about how, you know, some of the songs that you've got listed, how they were produced, and what that process looked like?
I mean, I only got 5 songs. So I can make. Let me see. So there's this one guy I've been talking to on the internet for like years, and then finally I asked him. I was like, "Yo, you think you can make me some beats?" And his name is Jordan Lyles. Shout out Jordan Lyles. And Jordan Lyles helped me create my first record, and I was supplier. I really liked his production because he actually had a big influence on Dungeon Family, Outkast, you know, Three Stacks, that type of music. And that really complimented my sound on what I was trying to make. So got in contact with him, got some beats made, and that happened. And then from there it was just like just being on the internet scrolling, you know. I had encountered this one producer, Ali. I really liked his beats. So I started like freestyling and just making demos on his beats and, you know, just trying to find who got the best beats on the internet, man. Like, just so new to this. I had beats in O2 Worldwide, but that's not the type of beats I want to go for my. It's not the type of direction I want to go for my solo music. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
So you mentioned supplier. You know, what the fuck am I doing? Falling.
Yeah.
Talk about those.
Okay. Yeah. So, what the fuck am I doing? I made that in 30 minutes. I was
Start to
really
finish?
You start to finish, man. I was upset. It was a very bad day for me. I had crashed my car. I was in debt. I didn't have any clothes. I was just broke, man. I was just like, I can't take this anymore, you know. So I recorded that. I found this producer Bandcamp named Yotaro, and he had this beat. I was going scrolling through his tape, and I was like, I found that one beat. I was like, man, I gotta rap on this. It just spoke to me so much. So got in there, recorded that, and then I just put it on SoundCloud. I didn't mix it or none of that. I just wanted to put something out, just let some feelings, you know, let all that emotion out, you know, any chance I get. And then Falling as my last song I made, and it's one of the producers from O2 Worldwide. His name is Rip Francis, and he came down to Chicago. It was one of the last months before I left Chicago, and we recorded that. And Falling is about, you know, relationships in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so from January, how long were you here?
I was there for 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after I left, I stayed in Oklahoma for about a good 2 to 3 weeks, and then I came back for the Jamonte show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamonte. We wrote about that at Cole's Bar. Saw you, saw Jalen, saw Vic. It was a great show.
Yeah, man. Shout out Vic Spencer. Shout out Jamonte, man.
Absolutely, that was a hell of a show. Yeah. In terms of, you know, where you're at and where you're going, you say you're going to end up back in Chicago, right? You mentioned you're working with the family biz in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What's the path? How do you get here? What's the reason? Are you chasing production? Are you chasing experiences?
I'm chasing both, actually. It's really more experience, actually, but I'm tapping in with like my roots again, trying to save some money and like plan better, you know, so I don't have to go back and forth. I actually want to reside in Chicago a little longer than just, you know, a year, and actually build, because Man, being back in Oklahoma City and versus those major type of cities, man, it's a big change. Like, it's very stagnant down here. It's like I can do what I want to do. Pretty much can just write music. That's it. It's like no live performances and none of that. It's just very hard to do music things down here, you know?
Well, hard to do music things in general, right? I mean, you got
Yeah.
to build up, you got to sustain. You know, you got to
Yeah.
get them on Spotify, you got to get them on YouTube, you got to maintain communications, you got to capture emails so you can promote shows. I mean, it's
Right.
it's a business just like anything, right?
Yep.
Talk to me about that piece of it. And is streaming your primary distribution mechanism? Are you selling tapes out the trunk? Like, what do you got going on?
So I'm really just going through DistroKid right now.
Yeah.
And I pretty much just dropped into SoundCloud right now. My plan is I'm really trying to get all my BS music out the way so I can actually present more of a professional, a quality sounding catalog.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to put any type of have done music on all platforms because, you know, people can look at that, you know, people are going to look back and say, and I really take pride in that because I really like the way my music sounds. I care the way it sounds. So, you know, I got to be really careful. But at the same time, I want to take chances and just drop a lot of things and just see where it goes.
Absolutely. Have you looked into like NFT distribution or tools like Gala Music or?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
Putting me on, I don't even know what that is.
Take a look. I'll send you some links. But,
okay.
You know, I don't know how quickly it's shifting, but to be able to put the power back in the hands of the artist and to be able to control, you know, the masters and sell kind of shares in that production, then we as fans can support incrementally and have a, you know, ownership of that track, right? So it's still a digital asset. It can still be shared wildly, but to say that we invested in the early stage of XYZ, that's where the NFT potential lies. And I know Gala Music is one that's trying to incorporate that in and place the power back. But there's always somebody on top, right?
Yeah, that's
the
dope.
corporation always making something.
Right, man. It's always good to go independent. You know, DIY, do it yourself. You know.
Yeah, no, that's tough. But
right.
How about you know, when you're out doing shows? You know, you do the merch thing. You got the streaming. You got the live performance cuts.
I haven't really got to the merch part. When I perform, I pretty much just go in and go out, and those are the things I gotta think about, like type of merch. But then again, I don't really have enough music to actually like.
All right, we're freezing up again. Now's a great time to share at Beats Beds Browns. Make sure you follow us on social.
That part of my career yet, start selling merch, which I'm going to next year.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah, no, I know there's not one home run. You know, you got to hit a lot of singles, right?
Yeah.
What about in Oklahoma or in the city? Are you? Yeah. Want to make sure we get back synced up. What about when you're in Oklahoma or even out here in Chicago? Are you involved in any community or philanthropic or civic engagement?
Not in Chicago. I want to say in Oklahoma City. I help with the church, or I help, you know, with the ministry, and then I help with my one of my friends' family businesses, and he also helps the community.
Spread the good word, man. That's what it's all about. How about gardening? You ever get involved in any gardening or?
No, I want to. I've been hearing everybody's been trying to grow their own food.
Absolutely,
yeah.
So anywhere we ship across the country, we've given out 1,000 free seed kits across the country. Again, beatsbedsbrowns.com. Sign up. We'll ship acorn squash, dill, or carrot seeds. And then all we ask is that as people grow, they share photos with us so that we can tap in and enjoy. You know, one of our taglines is happy planting. You know, we want to make sure that we're not only expanding the community that we work from and support, but that also, you know, we're educating people on the different opportunities and then having a good time with a sip of brown, you know?
Yeah, man, definitely got to tap into that, man.
Absolutely. You, how about whiskey? You a whiskey or a bourbon drinker?
Yes.
I was going to say, with all that barbecue, you have to.
Oh, man. I started out with like Crown. and then I worked my way up to. I don't know if you heard of this brand called Knob Creek.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, man. So Knob Creek that's my go-to, man.
nice.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're connoisseurs with the accent on sewer is what our professor
Okay.
used to say. We'll drink it all,
Right,
and
right.
taste it, and see what tastes good, and see what we like, and double down on that. And obviously, anybody that we've interviewed before, Few Spirits is a big one for us. Duneland Distillery, Kennard and Drake out of Lebanon, Indiana, Boone County Jail Distillery.
Right.
Always good. And then Two Eagles Distillery out of Mount Prospect we got this year. So we're excited to cut it up with them and see what they got going. They got a couple, the ready to drink industry. So we're looking forward to that.
Right. Okay.
So what's next? What shows you got coming up? When's the next track release? What can we expect?
Okay. So I'm working on some records right now as we speak. I don't have any shows right now. I'm gonna start doing shows again start of next year. Pretty much just locking in right now with singles, get them ready for the year, and just try to be consistent as much as I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep us afloat of anything in the pipipeline, and definitely next time you're in Chicago, let us know.
Definitely.
Anything we can do to help you out, we'll be more than happy to.
Yeah, I appreciate it, y'all.
Anything else you want to share before we jump into hard hitters and wig splitters?
Oh, I'll see y'all next year.
All right. Well, here we go. We're going to transition. I don't know, hard hitters and wig splitters, a rapid fire, do or die, this or that series of questions. We like to have fun with it, so just let it flow and give us your first thought. I'm going to just drop the intro now. All right. Hard hitters and wig splitters with Ganawae. Here we go. Beef or no beef?
Beef.
Beef. Cash or queens?
Cash.
Big black truck or 6'4"?
Big black truck.
Nice. Edibles or flour?
Flour.
Okay. I know you mentioned Beanie Siegel, Outkast. How about Jay-Z or Drake?
Drake.
All right. I don't know. I don't know the Oklahoma baseball team. The Bears or Colts?
Let's go with the Colts.
I guess Sooners or Cowboys, more appropriate, right?
Sooners.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner.
Yeah.
All right, I lived in Texas.
Sooner.
We had the Red River rivalry.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cubs or Sox?
Let's go with Sox.
Sox. All right.
Yeah.
How about this one? This will get you. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog is not a sandwich.
Not a sandwich. All right. We're split. Jalen said it was a sandwich. How about ketchup or no ketchup?
Ketchup.
All right. Handling these Chicago ones with a plum, man. Hot or mild?
Let's go with the hot.
Hot.
Yeah.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan
all the way.
Yeah.
Marvel or DC?
Let's go with Marvel.
All right. And then vanilla or chocolate?
Let's go with vanilla.
All right. He survived the gauntlet. Hard hitters and wing splitters is wrapped up. Now we go with one's got to go. We give you famous triplets or trios. One's got to go. There's a hard choice here. So bacon, lettuce, or tomato?
Tomato.
All right. Rock, paper, or scissors?
Paper.
Eazy-E, Ice Cube, or Dr. Dre?
Eazy-E.
All right. Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok?
Instagram.
Phone, keys, or wallet?
Wallet.
All right. And I'm behind the 8 ball here. Let me give you. Oh, bummer. All right. So that concludes our interview with Ganawae. Let's not forget our mission to distribute 100,000 heirloom seed kits over the next 10 years. We want to introduce people to growing their own food and realizing how easy it is to get started. Whether you've got acres or just a balcony, you can start growing your own food. Get your free seed kit at beetsbedsbrowns.com. Make sure you subscribe, follow at Beats Beds Browns at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And please participate in the comments section throughout our content. We really do want to hear from you guys. So that concludes the interview. Ganawae, we appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, man.
And
Thanks
look
for getting my
forward to
first
the
interview,
next
man.
time that we get to see you, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, man.